colleagues. The first ever National Staff Conference that we've had. You've had a chance to hear some very...
Commissioners of Legal Aid Commission, Mr. Wakaniasi, the Solicitor General, of course, who is the chairperson, the CR, and of course the Director of Human Rights Commission and Anti-Discrimination Commission, I should say, and your Director. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me much pleasure to be here. A few weeks ago I was down at the Intercontinental where you had your support staff, but they had a separate workshop. Today, of course, the professional staff are here and also the support staff are here. And this is, of course, the first time that all of you have come together. I'd like to thank the Commission for actually organizing this, because it is very, very important. You are, as I've said on a number of occasions, you are the largest law firm in Fiji. We have over 200 people who are employed through Legal Aid Commission. We have a budget of over $10 million that's provided to you by government. Some of you probably weren't in the organization. Only a few years ago, the budget for legal aid was only a few $100,000. Today, it's over $10 million. Today, you're an organization that is actually mandated under the Constitution to ensure that ordinary Fijians have access to their legal rights, to have the legal rights enforced, access to justice, access to legal awareness, indeed legal education for that matter, regarding their rights. So you have a very, very important role to play. One of the things, personally that I've seen in organizations, whether it's in the private sector, whether it's in government, when an organization actually gets to be large, sometimes we tend to forget what are the fundamentals of the organization. And indeed, when there are many of you operating, and some of you may actually operate under very extenuating circumstances, you may have a number of stresses, some of your officers may actually have to have more clients than others, and more demanding clients than others. But the professional will always ensure that notwithstanding the pressure, notwithstanding the number of clients, notwithstanding the number of people coming through, or the demands that are being placed, they will always maintain their professionalism. It is very, very critical to do so. I appeal in particular to the lawyers. This is not to say, of course, support staff aren't professionals. But I'll talk about specifically these issues pertaining to lawyers. There is, of course, a particular sense of social hierarchy between lawyers and non-lawyers. And as I said to the support staff a couple of weeks ago, support staff play a very pivotal role in ensuring that the office actually functions well. And indeed, we cannot do without the support staff. But it is the lawyer, or it's the lawyers that actually go to court. It's the lawyers that actually give legal advice. And it's the lawyers generally that the public want to come and see, to get some level of comfort, to get some level of direction, or indeed get representation. So the lawyers have to be professional at all times. Now, this means a number of basic things. The way you dress, the way you appear when you come to the office, the way you talk to your staff, the way that you talk to your clients. I've actually seen in some offices, not necessarily legal aid, private law firms, once I saw their legal aid office, I've seen it in government offices, where members of the public who are the citizens, who actually ultimately pays your salary, my salary, the Solicitor General's salary, the CR salary, the Director's salary, funds the Legal Aid Commission, funds the Human Rights Commission. They are the people that should fund it all. Because everybody in Fiji pays tax. Some people don't pay income tax unless they earn more than $30,000. Everybody pays VAT. You can buy a packet of chewing gum, you pay VAT. That VAT goes towards government's consolidated fund. Then that fund budget is then allocated through those funds. And that pays for everything. You have to remember that. Because of these people, you exist as an organization. Because of these people, your salaries get paid. You need to give them that level of respect. Many people who actually turn up to legal aid offices have a number of issues, some of which they cannot comprehend even, do not know what to do. So you have to have a particular level of sensitivity, particular sense of empathy of the issues that they are going through themselves. Of course, some people may be very annoying, let's face the facts. But you have to learn to be able to handle annoying people. So please remember as lawyers that when you do go to work, you have to have a particular level of professional attitude towards your work. You have to ensure that you present yourself well to your staff, to the clients that actually come, and they are indeed your clients. They may not be paying any legal fees directly to your organization, but they are actually paying legal fees through the taxation system. And you have a fiduciary duty to these people who become your clients. Absolute fiduciary duty. In the same way, when you go to court, there's certain standards you need to maintain. Certain standards that you have in respect of dealing with colleagues from the other side, defense counsel. You have to deal with not just defense counsel, but I'm talking about the prosecution. In many cases, you are the defense counsel, the prosecution, or whoever is representing the other side. You have a duty, you're you're an officer of the court. You have to deal professionally with the magistrate, or the high court judge that you appear with. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, and unfortunately one can argue and say for a number of years, standards in the legal profession could have dropped, or may have dropped, and indeed has dropped. And because you are the largest law firm in Fiji, if you, all of you, as lawyers, lift up your standards and maintain a new sense of professionalism, you will actually bring about a cultural change if there has been a drop in standards, because there are many of you. In the way that you talk, in the way you behave, in the way that you represent your ideas, your case, your evidence before the courts. And of course, you have to deal with many other agencies within the governmental system, whether you're dealing with the corrections office, whether you're dealing with the police. If all of you actually maintain a particular level of standard, it will actually bring about a huge cultural change. I don't want to, admonish people or give a large lecture or long lecture, but I just wanted to inculcate that sense of professionalism. It is very, very important. Sometimes we tend to forget that. Maybe a lot of pressure. This is why I'm glad that, unfortunately I was not able to listen to your open forum with your commission. But, it's good for you to have those kind of sessions where you raise issues. Also, I think it is very important that all of you as professionals need to ensure that those colleagues of yours, all colleagues of yours, actually maintain their professional behavior. If somebody, one of your colleagues or fellow lawyers is actually doing something that's not acceptable or professional, you need to actually report it. Because you can have one rotten apple, the entire barrel can go rotten. The entire barrel will get rejected because of even one person. So you have to, it's your duty to the organization. Don't try and cover for people who are not professional. People are not behaving properly, people are late. I can tell you that the SG and I had to deal with people a number of years ago, lawyers, certain days they never turned up to work. One particular instance where somebody used to be always stoned. I don't know, maybe people in your office may come stoned, I don't know. Or people come drunk. People come late. That's letting the team down. We didn't let that happen, that person had to go. So I hope that your management team actually deals with people accordingly in that manner. Because you cannot tolerate that. There are many budding lawyers who want to do good work. And it's that level of competition that's within the professional system that is actually very critical. I know the legal aid is actually expanding quite rapidly. There's two new offices that's supposed to be officially open, and we hope that the Honourable Prime Minister will do that very soon. And of course, government is looking, working with your commission to opening up more. Please look at building a career path. As I've said to your support staff a couple of weeks ago, in your job, you need to expand always your knowledge. Please read. Don't just read stuff that is only related to your work or just your case. You need to read more expensively. When you read more expensively, you become a lot more knowledgeable. And the cases that may come before you, you will actually be able to grasp them a lot better. You of course deal with human beings. It's always very important to understand human psychology. Why people behave in a particular manner. What does relationships mean to them? And how do they react to it? It's better for you to be on top of it. So ladies and gentlemen, I like to also, like I said, it's not only to be critical, you play a fantastic role. I'd like to thank all of you for the role that you do play. Legal Aid Commission a number of years ago, I remember still in 2007, there was only Lautoka, Suva, and Lambasa. And then I think we did an official opening of Ba. 2008 was a Ba. And then we sort of didn't look back from there. And of course, in those days, Legal Aid Commission's mandate was a lot more limited. We now, getting into the area of civil law. You deal with probates, you deal with wills, so you're expanding. And so you play a very pivotal role. Please understand that. And I'm sure many of you do. By giving somebody advice that will help them, you can actually change the course of a person's life. You can actually hold the key to them being happy or not, or even understanding the law. Of course, you can't solve all the problems. There may be certain things outside the scope. But the point is, you need to explain it to them properly. I get a lot of phone calls, people ringing me up about disputes, all sorts of things. And many times I cannot do anything about it. But I explain it to them nicely, I tell them what the issues are, and I tell them that I can't do it. And then they go away happy. Let me give you a trick that I also have, and I've seen this, and I mentioned this at the Permanent Secretary's retreat yesterday too. I have a number of people, ringing me up, calling me up. An example I used yesterday says somebody's name is Poliasi Tambua, and he may be in one particular instance, say he's a security guard, and he calls me up about a particular issue. I don't say to him Poliasi, I call him Mr. Tambua. The moment you call him Mr. Tambua feels very important. Mr. Tambua feels that you are treating him with some form of respect. It does not in any way mean that you have lost your respect. It does not in any way mean that you suddenly are no longer the lawyer or he's at your level. Many people think like that. But the moment you call him Mr. Tambua, he'll be a lot more receptive to what you say. You say, this person is treating me well. He's treating me with respect. And sometimes the response may be extremely negative. But Mr. Tambua goes away happy saying, this person treated me well. So there may be, you can develop little bit of tricks for yourself. So there may be a little bag of tricks that you may have in your own pocket as to how to deal with people. How, with the little example that I gave. It does help you to sort of, mitigate yourself around sometimes tough issues. So think along those lines. And also please remember that you have to treat everybody alike. I know most of the clients that you get through your door may not be well off. Of course, they don't qualify to get your service if they weren't well off. Please don't look down upon them. Please don't do that. We're pumping in $10 million so these people actually feel a sense of dignity. And also please don't discriminate on the basis of ethnicity, gender, provincialism, religion, whatever the case may be. As a professional, whoever walks in through the door, they are your clients. Get rid of your prejudices and treat everybody alike as a client of yours, as a client of Legal Aid Commission. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for your work, for your dedication. I also want to acknowledge the support staff. You know, I've been in a number of instances where sometimes people always complain, for example, about the driver, and look down on the driver. But when the driver is there, everybody's looking for the driver. You know, we like a wheel, a bicycle wheel. When one of the spokes aren't there, the wheel does not function. So the professional staff are important, so are the support staff. Some support staff may become lawyers. Some of them may not become lawyers. Some of them become very good HR people. As you would know, HR people are very, very important. They look after your well-being, they ensure that the place functions well, ensure that all of this is organized well. So everybody is very important. Please understand that. It's a symbiotic relationship between the professionals and those who are the support staff. And once you're able to understand that, then you will function well as an organization. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your energy, your time, your effort, and indeed your interest in working for the Legal Aid Commission. And we look forward to you doing much bigger and better things. Naka, thank you.